Hi, my name is Jonathan Coffey, and my fad diet research is about the keto diet or ketogenic diet. So, what is the basic idea for someone doing the keto diet? Well, basically it entails them constricting themselves from the consumption of mass amounts of carbohydrates. That is really typically less than the average of 2,000 calories of a normal diet. They're really getting between 6 and 10 times less the average. The low consumption of carbohydrates seems to starve the body, and this starvation of carbohydrates tricks the body into really thinking it is starving in all food and changes the metabolism rate into wanting to start transferring fats or lipids. This is known as ketosis. The human body under this state will then, as I said, break down the fat molecules and other nutrients into changing them into ketones, which is used as the main source of energy. A person using this diet, they really are restricted to certain amounts of foods that they can have. Those certain types of foods really entail some fruits, vegetables that have high amounts of natural sugar. They are not allowed to have honey, candy, or chips, and certain grains. Also, they're not allowed to have certain baked goods as it can release the natural sugar inside the food. And usually on these diets, they are increasing the amount of good fats that they have, as well as proteins and certain vegetables and fruits. So what would happen to a person's body if they actually started the keto diet? Well, we can say that the body starts finding other means to produce the ATP for energy. And as it does so through the form of ketosis and using these ketones, the person may experience a significant amount of weight loss from fat that's being transferred into ketones, and also, largely enough, water. A lot of water and electrolytes will be lost during this time. There was a study done by, probably mispronounces his name, but it was Durkalec, and in 2019, and these athletes were placed on a 4-week-long ketogenic diet, which their results were they resulted into a greater fat oxidation and lower carbohydrate oxidation at exercise intensities less than or equal to, I think it was 65 VO2 max. And this happened for both male and female. Although the study didn't really provide indication of application to non-athletes, it could be seen that, it really would probably matter on the person and their body's resilience and how fit they were. Due to, rapid drops of sugars that happens in the body transitions to the ketoacidosis state, where fat molecules and other molecules that are readily, more available to be broken down and transforms them into ketones through ketosis, really can cause other problems in the body. There is a thing called the keto flu. Individuals may feel such as nausea, unable to think, the inability to have the same amount of energy. They may feel sick and have many different symptoms that seem like they have the flu. But really what's happening is it's changing the hormones and ketones and certain other regulations that the body will normally have under typical circumstances to where they feel these effects of their body going through ketosis. So what have the recent studies proved or disproved? Well, most of these studies that I have found really dealt with athletes. But because it's been really hard to find any participants willing to go longer than 3 or 4 months, it seems that we really don't know what could potentially happen. We do know that some predictions could be dehydration and electrolyte loss due to the normal responses that the body has burning these ketones and releasing the salt and water. And I must add that a lot of the weight loss that we see really is significantly from water loss, especially within the first couple of weeks. While on the diet, it may be hard to really assess the necessary nutrients in sufficient quantity that they need. So this could be a potential health risk. Not only among the loss of salt, dehydration, and hormone imbalances that the persons may have, ketone imbalances, you really don't know how much nutrition they're getting because they are limiting how much carbs they take into their body, which can, in some cases, limit how much nutrition and essential vitamins that they're getting into their body. And with these unbalanced levels of ketones, hormones, and glycogens, it may actually impact the cardiovascular system, the liver, the lungs, just really depending on the individual. And some things that can happen due to the diet, well, it can also be bad after you stop doing the diet. Overeating can really be a problem because the person may be led to, eat more than they normally were because their body was so used to having so less of carbohydrates in their system that they now start wanting to eat more. And their body may react by storing those carbohydrates, fats, and other nutritional items and putting it into storage, causing more fat. They can gain weight afterwards. This can happen. And it can also happen to where their body may become accustomed, if they were to go on this diet and off this diet, they may not even have the same effects. Their body may know how to handle it better. So that could be a potential problem with it. So, in conclusion, to wrap everything up, what is the keto diet? It's about, limiting the amount of carbohydrates that a person typically would take. And in order to do that, your body then makes a response. So what happens to the human body? The response is some weight loss, a lot of water loss, and going into ketosis, which is changing fats and lipids into ketones that the body then uses for energy. And the potential health risk, well, there is potential health risk, not only for unbalanced levels of ketones, hormones, glycogens, and possibly an impact on the heart, liver, and lungs. There could also be a potential of unhealthy eating that can happen after the diet, or even the body's now responding to a lack of the amount of carbohydrates and other fats and nutrients that it starts storing too much after the diet has been discontinued.